the first time she drugged me with ecstasy.
Don't want Cassie as a boss.
Having sex for like 3 days when she gave me this.
Jesus Christ. So welcome to the channel. So today we're going to check out this case which has been making rounds. I've seen this guy on my feed a couple of times, and so he's talking about how Diddy was not the only villain in this case, and that, how can I say, a co-conspirator. I would say what Ghislaine Maxwell was to Epstein, Cassie was that to Diddy. Now that's pretty much what this guy is communicating. Anyway, so apparently Cassie put freak on freak off, and well, I am finding it really interesting how this whole case is unfolding. And the problem is the part where we've all the case is that Cassie was innocent and Diddy was just this all conniving and all manipulative kind of person, which I do not think that's possible, especially in a country like America, especially when you're an adult who's in the media and you can actually talk and you actually communicate as fast as you can. And for someone with such a large notoriety as Cassie, she could actually have, she could have actually brought this case or this situation forward way earlier than now. This is my assumption. She was getting something out of it. She was getting something out of it, and its use ran course, or whatever it is that she was getting ran its course. And it was now time to move on or do something different. And I think she had a plan all throughout, which if you ask me, you kind of respect it. But at the end of the day, let's get into this. Let's get into this video, and then I will give my opinions later on.
Oh yeah, the first time we had unprotected sex was definitely Cassie. Again, bro, like I'm trying to use the right word to respect your platform, but I was smashing her, bro. I was putting that twerking. Yeah, like it's not, it's bad to say, but it's kind of obvious. She's a beautiful woman. A heterosexual man, it takes no effort to do what you got to do with that woman. So I would go in there, bro, and I'm making love.
Okay, this guy is trying to bring in a lawsuit against Cassie, and I've seen in other podcasts where he was saying that he was not approached by Cassie's prosecutors or defense, and I think it's telling, considering how he already starts in this section. Whatever he's saying could all be true, but I think he gives off a vibe of he's mixing truth and a little bit of embellishment all together. And he's also like, he's being a little bit too flamboyant. It's like he's clip farming. It's like he wants to become famous. His goal is not even like a lawsuit against Cassie, which is against Cassie and Diddy. I think his whole shtick, or it looks like he's after notoriety. Let's see. I might be proven wrong, but I do believe like dude might have actually been done wrong. But again, let's just continue and we'll see.
To her like it's the last day on earth, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going in on her. The first time we had unprotected sex actually is the first time she drugged me with ecstasy. We probably had been seeing each other for maybe, I want to say, 2 years.
I think that's illegal unless you partook. But again, hey, at the end of the day, in America, if you say it was against your consent, you, as a man, I think you also deserve the right to be believed as well. So let's continue.
And they would put me through it, bro. Like I would go to these encounters and I would be up for like a day and a half. And bro, I would be hurting because I wasn't taking drugs with them. I was an athlete. I ran 5 miles a day. I was a constant like workout enthusiast. I don't got time to be doing all them rock star drugs. And besides, I'm not in the music industry. You know, the music industry is a rock star lifestyle. This is how they live. I don't live like that. So I remember asking Cassie, like, what do you take to stay up like this? Like, cause I'll be with you for days and you got the same energy like you had in the morning when I got here. So I remember she looks at me and she says, I was hoping you would ask. Hold on a second. She goes into the room. She comes out quick. She shows me like a purple E-pill, thick E-pill too. And I said, what's that? She said, it's ecstasy. She starts breaking it down to me. And I'll be honest, at first I was resistant. I'm like, nah, don't take that. I'm good. But it's like what they say. Most men who do hard drugs, a woman introduces them to them. A woman opens you up to it under the promise of sex or something that's going to give you a benefit for trying this substance. And it's true. So basically, Cassie tells me that if I take this a little bit of this substance with her, the sex is going to be amazing. It's going to go from like 1 to a 10. And looking at her, how beautiful she was, how the great intercourse we were already having, it was enticing to see like, wait a minute, it can get better than this? Really? I'm curious. So I don't like to take pills. I told her, like, all right, how am I supposed to take this? She says, hold on, I'll crush it up for you and I'll put like a half or a quarter of it in the drink. So she gives me this drink. I drink the drink, and she did not lie, bro. Within like 30 minutes, my entire body was alive. Like I could feel every nerve ending. Me and this girl ended up having sex for like 3 days when she gave me this.
Jesus Christ. No chafing? Like, really? No, I think... I don't believe it, though. I don't believe it. Maybe the guy can, but... I'm skeptical about that analogy. A day? Yeah. On drugs? Possible. 3 days. First of all, fluids. You're losing a lot of fluids. There's sweat, just, I don't want to think about it, but all of that. And you can't tell me you guys are effing with whole Stanley bottles on your hands. So it's or Stanley. You can't. So you guys can't tell me that you're effing with Stanley cups on your hands for hydration. So maybe pauses and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Like this. I think is he trying to sell a book, a podcast, or something like that? Because it could, which is not a bad angle, Like, hey, go get it, man. Go get it.
This time. During the course of this sex, I believe it was sometime during the night, we were involved in the encounter. So, I'm stroking her. It's hot. She's into it. She pushes my abdomen up, reaches, rolls off the condom, and pulls me in her real quick, bro. Like, you date women.
That's also a little bit messed up.
I'm pretty sure you've been in a situation where shorty hit you with the wham real quick before you knew it. You in her. You don't know what the hell is going on, but it's so good you don't come out because like we know how we are as men. Once you get inside like that, it weakens it. It's like kryptonite to a man. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like fell into it because it was a totally different sensation. I'm high off this ecstasy. It's like, wow, I done fell into heaven all of a sudden. So me and her kind of forget Puff is even there, and we're just going at it, slow, deep strokes. And what snapped me back into the encounter was Diddy himself actually asking Cassie specifically, like, yo, you fucking him raw now? Whoop. Both of us look up. She's looking me in the eye. I'm looking at her like, I'm waiting for her to say something because this is your dude and it was your idea. So what you waiting for me to say something? She tells him like, oh, I checked this paperwork. It's all good. And that bothered me because, I still thought they were in a monogamous relationship. So immediately to me, someone with some intelligence, the first red flag was, why would this woman lie to her man about seeing my STD results? The hell with that. No. I jump up. I said, yo, man, listen, check this out. I do have clean test results. I can pull them up on my phone. Can she pull hers up? He said, I thought she's seen her already. I said, I ain't show her nothing, but I want to show you because I want to see her and I want to do this right. And Diddy's a man. Diddy's cool. He said, you know something, bro? I respect you telling the truth. He was mad at Cassie, but he was so into the freak off and we was going so like hot and heavy, he didn't want us to stop. So he tells her to show me her results. She shows me her results.
I don't get, like, I think at a certain point, hedonism or this whole being like, I don't know, there's a certain point where, especially for someone, let's say like Diddy, where he's been a hip hop star for a very long time. He's been surrounded by all kinds of beautiful women. Like, like I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, is it a case where at a certain point you get so overwhelmed that your dopamines cannot function with the normal intersexual interaction? Like, it has to be, things just have to be off the chain. Like, drugs involved, people, like just different kinds of things. And this is pretty much my, I would assume so, considering the part whereby I think it's a human brain, it's a bug. I think it's a bug, and if you fuck around with it, you're gonna find out something you might not like about it, or you might not like about yourself. Like, and I do think sometimes it's noble and actually good to keep yourself a little bit innocent. It helps with mental stability. It helps with so many things. Like, at least even being able to just smile and be happy with yourself, man. Like, because I think there's certain things in certain places, especially sexually, that you can actually go into and absolutely wreck your whole balance. You get? Wreck your whole balance, and it changes who you are as a person. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like, I've ever met people, especially in the sex industry, they have a very, you can feel a very low vibration kind of situation happening. It's, you can tell if it's not the eyes, if it's not the skin quality, if it's not the face as well. Like, there's a certain light that I do think once you do, or once you partake in certain activities, or once you open a certain door, especially the hedonistic doors, you lose this light and it's forever gone. It's dead. And once you enter that area, it's not coming back. And you can see it with a lot of celebrities. You can see it with a lot of billionaires and people who have money, and also you can see it with a lot of people who work in the nightlife. It looks like, I don't know. It looks like soul selling in a way. And how my friend here talks, like it, he talks like someone who's sold his soul, and right now he's auctioning like a mother. Like, his hustle did not end at the freak off. He's still continuing. You get? But now he's just choosing that I don't want Cassie as a boss. I want myself as a boss, or I want to just take this moment that I have and get some out of it.
Login, I think it was Quest Diagnostics I was using at the time. I showed them my results, and this is how the freak offs continue. Now, the next encounter, because like I was high, I had unprotected sex with this girl. I was super nervous when I left. Like, damn, I probably caught everything in the book. So I go and immediately get an STD test, and it does come back clean. So the next time I see Cassie, I'd rather be safe rather than sorry. I pull out a condom. She says, what's up? And I said, we never know what could happen. I know you said you're on the pill. I got a girlfriend, though. We got to be careful. She says, all right. Diddy sees the condom.
Even had a girlfriend. Like I said, like, there's certain doors which absolutely you end up removing yourself from your own humanity, and you see certain interactions, especially sexual interactions, as transactions. And I think for a human to get to that point, I think it takes trauma. And from what I can see, what this guy is talking about, he's talking about it in a very nonchalant way, which I don't know, but I kind of feel like also kind of goes against dudes when it comes to basically presenting their cases. Because if you ask me, if I remove this whole swag he has and the way he's trying to present, I see dude being traumatized. Like, this is all trauma. And I don't think it started even with this situation. I think this is trauma all throughout. Sexual trauma all throughout.
He said, yo, bro, what's that for? Like, you already done had sex with a raw. You really want to put a condom on? I said, yeah, I got a girlfriend and we got to be careful. So Cassie throws the ball on me. Like, I didn't have a problem without the condom. He wants the condom. So now she throws me under the bus and puts it on me. Diddy comes back at me like, yo, bro, you don't think my girl's JJ clean? Like, what's wrong with you? I done blessed you and let you hit raw already. And now you're going to reject it. She's looking at me. He's looking at me. Peer pressure is real, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, the test came back clean. All right, Clay, you know what? What you got to
Yeah, still, but you don't know where the fuck she was yesterday, or where the fuck them two were yesterday, or just putting your life at risk. Like, you can't be doing that, man.
lose because the ball's in your court. They putting you under pressure. And I really needed the situation at the time. So I didn't want to mess it up. So I went with it.
Wow. And she forced you to have sex with her before, right? While she was on her period? She put hands on you?
No, she didn't put hands on me. She forced herself on me by that's a difficult story, but it's not too hard to tell once you understand what happened. And at first it felt pretty good. It was like, oh crap, she's taking you. This is what's up. All right, bet, But after a couple of seconds, it just started to feel weird because she was too aggressive, and she was never aggressive like this. Diddy controlled the pace. If he thought we was going too fast, if he thought it was too much lust involved, he would be like, slow down. But this time he didn't say anything. So she's continuing to do this. And the faster and faster she's going, the more and more it's feeling uncomfortable. So now I start to tell her, like, hold on, wait, let me see what's going on. She's not trying to hear that. She pins me with her hips around the couch, and she's kissing me. She throws her tongue in my mouth. Like, she's really passionate, and I can taste the alcohol on her tongue. Finally, she kind of like jumps up. She grabs my manhood and she like sits on it quick. She's already wet from what I think. So it goes in. We start having sex, whatever. As a man, when you're inside of a woman, it really doesn't, I can't say it doesn't matter how it feels, but it's a different feeling. It's kind of debilitating. Let's just be honest as men. It's a little debilitating. It's kind of,
Anyway, I think it's the case where she pretty much forced herself onto him when she was on her time of the month. Anyway, from what I'm getting from the story from this guy is whatever happened to him, he needs to seek therapy, and hopefully he gets what he's searching for, because I think he's looking for a good payday, and hope he gets it, man, because at the end of the day, I mean, Cassie got some. And if you ask me, even the racketeering charges that were brought onto Diddy, and this was actually a big mistake from the prosecutor or from the state who were prosecuting Diddy, or from the people who were actually going after Diddy, was they really wanted to catch him on racketeering. But the problem was his organization, or because racketeering or RICO, you can't, it's hard to pin a RICO charge on one person. But if Cassie was thrown in there and unfortunately she was already given immunity in this case, then the charges would have stuck, and that meant even Cassie would have actually been thrown in the slammer. But that's not the case, and well, we all know that kind of looks like it was somebody wanted to send a message to this guy, to Diddy, and right now it's one of those cases where everyone is coming out of the woodworks, and this is to be expected. And this guy, from how he talks, I do believe that I'm not smelling any kind of lies in general. I can see a dude trying to mask a lot of trauma with humor, and like, yeah, I'm cool, and trying to look like, yeah, he's just trying to get paid out of the situation. But I think this dude, once he gets his money and everything is settled in, he needs to seek therapy, because once he stops looking for money and sits down and calms whatever, because right now, like, if you look at him, he looks like he's in search for something. Like, he has a purpose. He has a lot of drive, which I admire a lot. The only thing is, once he finds what it is that he's looking for, and he calms down, that's when the noise begins. And I hope that he'd have actually been able to address whatever the fuck he's actually seen and experienced by the time he gets there. So my take is, well, Diddy was not the only deviant in this case. I do think also Cassie was a deviant as well. That's my assumption. There's no way 10 years is too long. It's too long. Too long to be manipulated, too long to be under a spell. And when you hear the story of this guy, really was Diddy was actually, like, dude was actually just, she was having all different kinds of dudes. Diddy was not having all kinds of chicks. And he looks like she was very protective about Diddy as well. So, like, it looks, this whole pleasure freak off thing looks a little bit one-sided in a way. But anyway, that's here nor there. The thing is, I will say is, if there was a RICO charge, if there was a RICO charge, it should have been the two of them going down. And the two of them are deviants. Let's just say that. And I feel sorry for the current husband, unless he's also there for with the end in sight. Unless he's also there, unless he also has a plan at the moment, because, well, even the kids as well, like, dude, like, this is not something I would like to think my mother was doing, because I mean, it's out there, it's in the public eye. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, so that's my take. Please do subscribe. Thank you for watching. Maybe the guy can, but